Okay. How does all this work now? That's a lot of stuff. Yikes.
So, Mr. Seasoned Rider, you finished another project, the GL 1100 water pump seal.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel?
I feel good. It's the Seasoned Rider, by the way.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Apparently, somebody has trademarked Seasoned Rider. They're horse riders in Wyoming, so
Oh,
I always say it's the Seasoned
it's
Rider.
kind of like a horse rider in a
I
way.
guess, yeah.
Not right. Oh, yeah.
Trusty steed, all that.
Yeah, sort of. Okay, well,
I'm sorry, what was your question?
that's okay. Tell me about the GL 1100 water pump seal project you just finished. How do you feel?
That project, I feel like I'm glad it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. When I looked at these videos, when I was editing them and trying to put this together, like I have PTSD from looking at that nightmare of a project that just went on and on. It was also about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reliving it, most of which you can't see in the video, but a lot of them like, oh man, I remember that part. I worked on that for 3 hours.
Oh, yikes. All right. So what did you learn from this project? Tell us what you learned.
The same old thing, which is good for, it's always a good lesson for being a mechanic and a restorer, and that is it's all about perseverance. You have to just keep at it, keep doing the work, and eventually you'll arrive where you want to be. And take your time, and if you have to redo something, then it's all got to come apart and you got to redo it. You can't stop. You have to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how about the recording of it? Did you learn anything there?
Yeah. I think I mentioned when we were talking, it was quite a while ago. It seems like now, but that the Video Up, the app that I use for the editing, just helps make everything really seamless. But it's really helpful to do the mechanic work because you don't have to worry about it. Like if I get something wrong, if I'm like blah 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 or whatever, I don't have to stop and reboot or
Right.
I can just keep going and just edit, take one out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do anything. I just keep working and repeat the words correctly or that type of thing. It just makes it a lot easier.
So you gain that knowledge of not having to worry so much about the editing piece of it.
And this actually there's a little 3-part series coming up on the CL450,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be the last thing that I ever recorded without knowing that in my future was Video Up. So I never really knew what I was going to do with this,
Mm-hmm.
how I was going to put it together. The recording all came first. Now I know, and so the upcoming stuff is better.
Okay, that's great. So were there stories?
Yeah, there were stories.
Okay, I like stories. Tell me a story.
For anybody that followed, there were mysteries and there was stupid stuff. One of them was, for some reason, this piece of copper plumbing pipe was in my parts bucket. And there actually was a place for it. It's in the video, buried in there somewhere in one of the parts. There was a place for this where it seemed to fit into the transmission cover as a spacer. And I thought, that's weird. Why would there be a brass thing? Well, I restored this. I cleaned it all up and deburred it, and straightened it all up. I go, all right, well, it seems to go there. And this has nothing to do with the Honda Corporation, a GL 1100. It's got nothing to do with anything.
So this was just a part you found one day
this
and
was
just
a
tossed
random
it aside?
part that also seemed to have a purpose.
So you kept it.
So I'm going on in this about like, oh wow, they must have got a plumber when they were doing the research and development, like, we need a spacer. What do we got? It's like, hey, plumber, can you help us out? That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
So it's total mystery.
Okay.
More stories. There was a little bit of drama. This was for real. This is the only time I ever used a swear word in any video that I did.
Mm.
Um, and that was when I took the front cover off, the transmission cover, which is where the water pump seal is and all that. I took out this piece of threaded metal that is clearly part of a case.
Yes.
So this is where you would screw a bolt into on this. And it was sitting down. I took it out of the oil. I was like, uh-oh.
And it's sort of cracked in half.
Yeah, so it's broken. So that means that something somewhere is broken. Like you can't screw this. It would be casing. It's disaster. It could have been part of the engine block,
Sure.
And so what I realized that this was something that broke on that motorcycle 15 years ago. When I was, make a long story short, I was putting the valve cover back on, and it broke off this piece. I got a whole new valve assembly because of this piece and put it on there. But this one little piece made its way down through the system and sat itself right there in the engine cover. And that's what I took out, something from 15 years ago.
Wow. 15 years is rattling around.
Yeah. So this thing could have been a disaster.
Sure.
So there's that. Wait, there's more. I found this down in the engine, and this is part of a valve tappet adjuster. And I don't know how that ended up in there. That might not have been from me, but it probably was. But this was another part just lying down there.
Interesting.
I told this story. I'll tell this real quick. A guy made this for me. I was in Dutchess County, New York, and a bolt popped out of a valve cover. And it's kind of a specialized bolt. There's no way to get one. I'm out, in New York. And this guy takes me up to his his snowmobile and lawnmower shop and makes this for me.
Wow.
Just had a piece of thing, welded on this nut, capped it, drove me back down to the bike. We put it in. This thing was in the motorcycle for the rest of the summer. It worked perfectly fine.
Wow, jam side up, huh?
Yeah, jam side up, absolutely. And like that. There's stories. There's always stories.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell me, what's next? What do we got on the agenda?
The next thing that's coming up is a little 3-part on the CL450, which was that wasn't a motorcycle that was particularly recorded. I think I spoke about it. I did a little bit of an intro into that motorcycle. It didn't need a lot of work, but there's some parts to it just because it's a cool motorcycle. And I take that motorcycle on a great ride. No music, just the CL450 high pipe scrambler, singing out as I'm going down Leech Island Road. It's a great ride video. So that's coming up. That's just a little 3-parter. Then I have this CB750 manual out right now because I'm rebuilding the head on the CB750. There's already, I think, 15 or 16 parts of that already recorded. That turned out to be a total head rebuild. And that's been a lot of fun and really interesting and a little in depth for me.
Right.
So that's happening.
This is a manual. Can you show the cover?
Yeah. So this is one of the Haynes manuals. I also have a climber manual. So, and then the YouTube footage, the people out there helping on YouTube. I'd like to add my stuff to the library.
Yeah.
But a lot of those YouTube videos are very specific as to what the project is. And mine's more of a generalized entertainment video that comes with, stupid stories. You know what I mean? So right. I'm going to do what I do.
Right.
But it does involve some technical stuff too.
Awesome. And tell me.
One other thing.
Yeah.
There's I entered the Rickman CR750 in a motorcycle show that's going to be coming up on Labor Day weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a show. Like it's not like your generalized. It's a thing.
Where's it going to be?
Lime Rock.
Lime Rock
Yeah,
Park.
so they're in the historic races, and on Sundays they have a car and a motorcycle show.
And that's where in Connecticut? I forget.
Sharon, Lime Rock.
Yeah, Lakeville. Lakeville, Connecticut. Right.
And so that's going to be done. So I have to get that up to speed. And it actually is you know, in all the car restoration videos and motorcycle videos, they always throw in these like time limits, like we got to get this done. You know what I mean? They're loading the car onto the trailer, going to the SEMA show. Why are they still spray painting?
Yeah.
You know, and I was thought, none of that's real. You know,
Yeah,
this might actually be a little bit real in this case.
that's
I
going to
might need
happen to you.
get this done and get it there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I think I have time.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
and so,
it's fun.
and so, how do you think it'll do in the show?
I think it's an exceptional bike. It's rare. It has a Russ Collins prepared motor in it. You know, it's a real deal. It's original.
Wonderful.
I did a little piece, I think I did a short on that it was the guy who was the Ferrari mechanic for Goldman or Sachs. I forget which one. But I went down to Goldman or Sachs's house. Again, I don't know which one, into the garage.
In Connecticut?
In Connecticut, yeah, in Stamford.
Oh, wow.
To go look at this motorcycle. So the guy said to me, come down to the garage and take a look. So I'm thinking, garage, you know what I mean? You got to get the lawnmower out of the way. It's got a box spring leaning on it, you know what I mean? I walked in the door. There were 6 incredible Ferraris in there, including Phil Hills, 1962 24-hour Le Mans winner.
Wow.
Was there. So I was trying to be cool. When I walked in, I was like, wow!
Do you think you pulled off being cool?
No. Who could blame me?
Well, that's great. So the Rickman is a very special machine.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to stop by Labor Day weekend at Lime Rock, are you going to be there the whole weekend?
Sure. No, just Sunday.
Just Sunday.
Yep.
And so if they want an autograph from Mr. The Seasoned Rider, you'll be there. Don't forget the. You'll be there.
Right? I'll be there.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend getting an autograph.
Why is that?
Because I'm a nobody. Who cares?
All right. Any other secrets?
Secrets
that you discovered in your project here?
Secrets.
It leaks.
So, did you fix it?
I did.